Hi everyone, Samuel here. Listen, something I quickly wanted to mention before we get started with today's episode. Spanish Sundown is just a couple of months old, and it's already being listened to everywhere from Los Angeles and Philadelphia to London, Berlin, and even Shanghai. The fact that you listen and your feedback and your support, it really means so much to me. So, in this holiday season, I wanted to say thank you. And on that note, I also wanted to ask you for a sort of Christmas present. If you're enjoying Spanish Sundown, please take the time to personally send it to someone you know who might enjoy it too. Keeping up this listenership momentum is what's going to allow me to continue to do work on new episodes. Thank you. All right, let's get on with the show. Beneath Spain's wrought iron balconies and cobblestone streets lie voices. They are trapped in objects from the past. When touched, when the sun goes down, they tell their story. Be advised that this is a horror podcast with very adult themes. The other day, I smacked my knee on the corner of my coffee table. The pain was so intense that, when I yelled, the pictures on my wall vibrated. I screamed so loud because I was angry and I was in pain. Anger and pain have power. In today's special Christmas episode, we're traveling to the monastery of El Escorial, a massive stone structure built into the snowy Guadarrama mountain range. We'll be meeting Carla, a girl who feels, well, a lot of anger and pain. While caroling next to the old town's life-size nativity scene, she touches a saw, more than 500 years old. The voices trapped in this saw take her back to 1570, when the monastery was still under construction, when King Phillip II picked this precise location for the building to seal off a gate to hell. Get ready to meet a red-eyed black dog 2 times the size of a wolf, and characters not quite living, but not quite dead. The power of Carla's pain and anger make for one hellish Christmas. Yo soy Samuel. Bienvenido a Spanish Sundown. San Lorenzo de El Escorial, December 2025. Ow! Miguel jabs me in the back, between my ribs. I stop singing and whisper so the teacher can't hear me. Miguel, knock it off. He plays dumb.
What? I didn't do anything.
It pisses Miguel off that he can't make me cry anymore. Before, lots of people made me cry. They'd say something about my looks or the way that I talk. And I just couldn't help it. My eyes would fill up with tears and they'd run down my cheeks, which made them laugh even more. It used to make me feel so small. He digs his finger into my back again.
Ow!
This time, he's closer to my thigh. He sings in a whisper into my ear.
Pelos locos.
Pelos locos, or crazy hair. I have tried every conditioner, every hairspray, every gel, and my hair still sticks up in weird places under my headband. But he can't make me cry.
Stop it, Miguel. Or what? What are you gonna do?
Miguel doesn't know about the friends I made. I stopped crying after I met them. Now I introduce them to people who really deserve it. Miguel would not want to meet them. The teacher notices us.
Children, we are performing in less than 24 hours. Now can we please rehearse?
I don't want to be here, but my parents are making me go caroling with this dumb school group tomorrow. Miguel whispers.
Yeah, Carla, can we please rehearse?
As he pokes me again, but this time on my butt cheek. Oh, Miguel. No, no, no. you just crossed a line. And you know what? I think you do deserve to meet my friends. I take a deep, enraged breath and I whisper back,
Miguel, I cannot wait to wish you a Merry Christmas.
He looks confused.
What?
Oh, Miguel, you'll see what I mean. The condensation is dripping from the Renaissance-era stone walls and iron bars when I leave the school. I can feel the freezing mist seep into my cuffs and pant legs. I have to walk fast if I want to visit my friends before my parents start to miss me back home. I need to discuss Miguel with my friends, and it'll be warm where they are. Oh, so warm. They're just across town, on the backside of the monastery with its granite domes and rounded towers and black slate tiles cut out against the night sky. Standing between me and the monastery is the town square. I enter the square, turn a corner, and immediately bump into someone, knocking them to the ground.
Oh, sorry.
And immediately feel stupid when I realize it's not a real person. Of course it's not a real person. It's the Virgin Mary. She's one of the mannequins in the monumental outdoor Nativity Scene in San Lorenzo del Escorial at Christmas time. It attracts 100,000 visitors every year. About 500 life-sized figures spread all throughout the town, with shepherds and Roman centurions and sheep and oxen. From a distance, they could almost seem real. But if you take a closer look, the shepherds' head coverings are old scratchy blankets that Grandma clearly bought in the 1980s and shoved into the back of her linen closet. The Roman centurion's red plumes are actually plastic broom bristles, and the sheep have a misshapen big something on their bellies that could either be gonads or teats. Between that and the random giraffes and caged gorillas, it's like a whole surreal world on acid. I lean over and look at the Virgin Mary I knocked over. Her nose is off-center and flat, and her eyes don't really fit into where a normal human socket should be. The paint used to draw her eyes is running down her cheeks, dissolved by the rain. Next to her, Joseph's face is clean-shaven, but bumpy from the chunks of paper and glue they used to make him. They're like humans, but in an LSD dream. Like humans that used to be alive. Actually, that gives me an idea. I inspect the wooden beams holding up the dried palm thatch roof woven into the wooden rafters over Mary and Joseph in the manger. I shake the struts, first on the right, then on the left. The structure wobbles on the left side. Perfect. My friends are gonna love this. Miguel, you are going to have one Merry Christmas. I continue toward the monastery, walking through a narrow stone passage under an archway. To call the monastery massive would be an understatement. Just the structure alone could fit 6 football fields without counting the grounds around it. Or the Lonja Esplanade, where I'm walking now, at the entrance to the basilica, large enough to hold a crowd of thousands of people. It's a monastery, but it's also a palace with quarters once used by the royal family. And underneath the ground, where the air grows cool, there's a crypt with white marble coffins inscribed in Latin. They hold the bones and rotting remains of hundreds of years of Spanish monarchs. Kind of fitting that my friends lived just beyond this point, back there, under the foundation. To go there, I exit through the backside of the monastery. The town stops here. There's only dark forest beyond this point. I pull my phone out and turn the flashlight on to find the entrance. The star-shaped groove in the stone. There it is, a star outlined in the rock. I trace the opening with my fingers, then gently push. I feel the warmth as I move the stone door aside and enter the dark tunnel behind it, using my phone to light the way. There's Cerberus, whimpering inside, at the far end. He's the first friend I made, the one that showed me this place. That was a few years ago. The mean neighbor lady had said to my mother,
"Your daughter is so big. It looks like you feed her from a trough."
I cried those big tears I used to cry, and I ran away into the woods. Cerberus found me, and he led me back here. Because he smelled my anger and my pain. He's waiting for me, sitting on top of the stone slab, like always, wagging his tail. A big black dog, 2 times the size of a wolf. In the darkness, his eyes glow. They're reddish yellow against my white phone light.
"Hey, boy. Good boy, Cerberus."
He jumps off the stone slab next to my 2 other friends. They're lying next to each other on the floor. Their faces look like dried apples, all scrunched up in a lopsided mess. They're dead. Well, kind of. I crouch to slide the stone slab to the side, just like the dog showed me to do the first time I came here. I heave. And the fire in the pit down below bathes the inside of the tunnel in an orange light. I can hear the condensed suffering coming from the very bottom. Far, far below. In the flickering firelight, their dried-out skin takes on a flesh-like glow. Their chests begin to rise and fall, breathing. The fire is bringing them to life. They both stand and approach me. She has the darkest black eyes, and he has a beard and is holding a saw in his hand. The screams from the fiery pit grow louder. When Cerberus first led me to this fire, I realized that the rumors must be true. Everyone in town says they built the monastery on top of a gate to hell to seal it off, but I thought those were just stupid old stories. Well, obviously not. Because I found it. The gate to hell. Well, kind of. It wasn't the concept I had of hell anyway. My new friends explained it to me.
"Hell is nothing more than our pain. Carla, cry your pain into the pit of fire. Share your anger with ours. It has power. This pit gives us power. Power to stop your pain with more pain."
And they really did help me to stop my pain. That woman who said it looked like I ate from a trough, she made one last phone call from the woods. She was running.
"There's a man chasing me with a saw, and he has a crazy black dog with him."
They said she must have been hallucinating when she died of a heart attack. So these 3 are my friends, and they help me to deal with the people who cause me pain, like the people who make fun of me. I tell them about Miguel and the wobbly stable and my idea.
"So, tomorrow we'll be caroling in the main square. That's where you come in.
My friends will
Right
be
in
there
front of
tomorrow.
the stable with the main.
And Miguel? Well, he's going to have such a merry, merry Christmas. The next evening, I'm there with Miguel and all the others, right in front of the stable. Miguel just can't help himself. He tries to grab my headband, the one holding back my frizzy hair.
"Hey, what's up, pelos locos?"
We're in a perfect Christmas postcard under Los Soportales, a cobblestone pedestrian passageway with stone arches right next to the main square. The restaurants under the arches smell like cognac and hot beef broth, and cigarettes from the groups of smokers huddled around the propane heaters outside the door. Blue and green and red Christmas lights, they twinkle on garlands strung from the glass-encased balconies above. And in the distance, beyond the town, the sun is going down behind the evergreen foothills to the snow-capped mountains behind us.
Hey!
Miguel pokes me again. All around us, parents in turtlenecks and puffy corduroys, holding roasted chestnuts in paper cones for their children and mittens and big coats. They're all waiting to hear us sing by the Nativity Scene. Oh, they'll get a performance all right. We begin to sing, and I look at the Virgin Mary standing by the manger. Her painted eyes aren't running down her face anymore. They're a beautiful, dark black. And Joseph, he has a beard. And he's holding a saw in his hand, right next to the wobbly beam on the left side of the stable. It's so dark, and the crowd is so focused on us, that no one notices the figures have been swapped. No one notices their chests moving up and down either. I mean, who would think to look to see if nativity figures were alive? And of course, no one notices the yellow-red eyes of a black body hidden behind the hay. Using our song as cover for the sound of the teeth biting into the wood, Joseph saws, ever so gently, almost imperceptibly, against the wobbly beam. The cut grows larger, but then I see Joseph fumble the saw and drop it to the ground. I don't think anyone saw. The crowd is still focused on our singing. As discreetly as I can, I shuffle to stand in front of him, shielding him and the dropped saw from view. While still singing, I casually stoop backward to pick it up, my fingers fumbling behind me. Miguel's following me, that idiot. He sticks his finger into my butt cheek again.
Hey, pelos locos, you never answered me.
Oh, that's it. It's time. I nod at Joseph, Mary, and the dog, just as my fingers wrap around the saw. And when I touch it, the voices begin. I hear anger and pain shrieking in my mind as Cerberus comes bounding out of his hiding place, crashing through the wooden construction. Everyone screams. Mary and Joseph take advantage of the chaos to give a good shove to the structure. The left side sways over the sawed-off beam. The dog runs straight for Miguel. It jumps up on its hind legs, shoves him toward the tottering stable, and swipes at his head, ripping off chunks of hair and skin.
Oh my God!
Miguel howls, stumbling toward the falling stable and touching his bloody head. Joseph and Mary knock the beam again, and the left part of the roof begins to fall. I move out of the way. The screaming crowd around me goes blurry right when it all crashes to the ground in a jumbled mess of thatch and wood and foam. And I can hear Miguel's screams of pain, and I can hear... El Escorial Workers' Village, 1570.
We want our pay!
In the workers' village, a half-hour's walk down a dark forest path from the unfinished monastery and palace up the mountain, Nuno was giving a speech in the smoky hut. It was made of interwoven branches and covered in moss and animal skins.
It's been months since we've seen a coin.
His fellow workers, wearing knee-length breeches made of coarse cloth and dirty wool capes, shouted along with him in the firelight.
I can't feed my children. I can't build if I don't have any supplies.
One of the men was Nuno's friend, Arminio. His family had been in the region forever. It was said they were the old ancient people who lived here, even before the Roman invasion. He chimed in.
He's not paying us, and he's upped our taxes. You can't draw blood from a stone.
A half-hour's walk up the dark forest path was where King Phillip II made his home with the monastery. The king was in his chambers with the foreman. The foreman spoke to him.
Your Majesty, the men are discontent. We have to pay, or I fear a mutiny. Ungrateful peasants. Concerned about such an earthly thing as money, when I have commissioned them with a monastery, to the glory of God himself.
It also didn't hurt that such a massive structure, what they were already calling the eighth wonder of the world, made King Philip the envy of the rest of royal Europe. The foreman insisted.
But if they don't have any food, then...
The thing is, King Philip didn't have any more money to give. True, riches were flowing in from the Americas, but that money was being spent on costly wars with other European nations, and to repay debts that the government had defaulted on. He was taxing his people to the hilt, but this monastery absolutely needed to be completed. Because there was another reason he was building the monastery. He had picked this precise location because it was a confluence of energy. Energy from a gate to hell. His mystic advisors had warned him that hell had power greater than his, that no one else should have. This holy building's true purpose was to seal that gate. Forever.
Silence. Do what needs to be done.
King Philip slid a metal object his way. The foreman reluctantly nodded, picked up the object, stuck it into his rope belt, and left. He ran the half-hour down the dark forest path, the moonlight glinting on the snow, giving him just enough light to see. When he arrived at the hut, he pulled his dark hood over his head, concealing his face from view. He grabbed the object in his belt. It was a metal bar. Nuno was urging the men to band together, just as the foreman burst inside.
If we don't get paid, then we won't work. Wait, who are...
The foreman pulled the bar from his belt and brought it down with force on Nuno's forearm.
Gah! Let this be a warning to all who would be rabble-rousers.
No one could see his face, so they couldn't prove anything, but they all recognized the foreman's voice. The men ran from the hut, terrified. They all went to work the next day. The next evening, Arminio was helping his friend to nurse his broken arm, wrapping it in a makeshift sling made of animal hide. Nuno was angry.
They're all too afraid to stand up to the foreman. The cowards are scared he'll break their arms too, and...
Arminio interrupted him.
Nuno, do you want to get paid?
Gritting his teeth, Nuno answered.
Of course I do. That's why I'm telling you...
Arminio spoke.
Grab your flint. I'll carry the torch. Can you walk?
Yes?
Then follow me. We'll get paid, and you'll get payback.
Nuno followed Arminio up the dark forest path, awkwardly cradling his injured arm. They stuck to the sides, the shadows between the pines, just in case they were to come across any of the king's men. When the dark mass of the stone monastery came into view, Nuno whispered,
Arminio, where are you taking me?
Shh! Don't let them hear us.
Arminio crouched down in the shadows at the bottom of the stone foundation, between the forest and the construction site.
Give me your flint.
He struck the stone a few times over the sapped torch until it came to light. He held it close to the foundation, passing it to and fro.
It has to be around here somewhere. Ah, there it is.
Arminio traced his finger around the outline of a stone in the foundation. It was shaped like a star. And when he did, the stone began to slide inward. Nuno gasped.
Where are we going?
Shh. Come with me.
The opening was just large enough for the two of them to pass inside. Arminio slid the stone back in place, then held the torch high and walked Nuno down the narrow tunnel that descended into the bowels of the earth. At the end, Nuno could see that the tunnel turned a corner.
It's just around the bend. There.
As they approached, the temperature grew warmer and warmer. When they turned the corner, Nuno yelled.
What the hell is that?
Sitting on a large stone slab was a black dog. But not just any dog. This dog was huge, like a massive furry beast with fangs, and its eyes glowed red and yellow. Arminio laughed.
Oh, the dog? That's just Cerberus, the guard. He's friendly.
The dog was thumping its tail against the ground.
Hold your hand out and see if he likes you.
Nuno slowly approached, warily holding his hand out. The dog's big tongue lolled out of his mouth and slurped at Nuno's hand. Arminio clapped his own hands.
Good. He likes you. That means you can move it.
Move what?
The stone slab.
Right as Arminio said this, the dog bounded off the slab and nudged Nuno toward it.
Move it? What's under here?
You may have heard why King Philip chose just this spot for his monastery, right?
Yes? To seal off the gate to hell. I don't know if I believe that.
Oh, but you should. He thought he sealed it off, that no one would ever be able to surpass his power. But my people have always known of this secret entrance, the star-shaped door. Nuno, this is the gate.
Nuno jumped to his feet, horrified.
The gate to hell? Get me away from here!
Arminio crouched and spoke gently.
Nuno, my people have been here for thousands of years. They have known of this place since before time. And they knew that hell does not exist. Well, not exactly. It's a place where humans store their pain. And that pain can be powerful. And it can turn against the ones inflicting it. You said you trust me?
Yeah, but that's not what
Then open the slab.
Hesitantly, Nuno moved forward. He nudged the slab with his foot. When he did, he looked behind him. What he saw in the flickering torchlight made him yell again.
There are dead bodies in here!
And there were. A man and a woman lying on the ground. Their faces were so dehydrated that they looked like dried fruit. But once again, Arminio was unfazed.
Oh, I know. Their pain is down there too. Their pain and its strength.
The bodies were wearing robes, white fabric tied around their heads with twine. The dead man was holding a rudimentary saw in his hand.
Why are they dressed like that?
They are from another time. They were slaughtered by the invaders long ago, with their dog and... Will you just move the slab? You'll see what I mean.
Nuno kicked the slab out of the way, and the room was bathed in heat and firelight. And when it was, the two dead bodies began to sit up. Nuno screamed again.
What is happening?
Uncrumpling, they stood to their feet. Their dried-out skin stretched until it was taut, like smooth alabaster. The man was handsome, with a full beard, and the woman was beautiful. Her black eyes glinted in the firelight. Arminio clarified.
Like I told you, their pain has power.
She approached Nuno and spoke.
We will help you with our pain.
Nuno, Arminio, and the dead man and woman hatched a plan as they walked out of the tunnel toward the star-shaped stone entrance. The black dog Cerberus wagging his tail and jumping behind them, his red eyes glowing. The next night, a few men thought they saw some kind of dog on the construction site in the dark, howling until dawn.
It looked like a giant wolf. I could have sworn its eyes were red. That thing isn't natural.
The night after that, a beautiful woman with glinting black eyes and perfectly smooth skin appeared in the workers' town of animal skin huts, speaking with the wives.
I heard the dog is the guardian to the gate of hell.
Some of the women were skeptical.
You don't really think that's why they're building the monastery here, do you?
The woman with the black eyes doubled down.
I don't know. I'm just asking questions. Because Can't you hear it now?
And the night after that, a bearded man with a rudimentary saw slipped onto the site at night when no one was watching. The scaffolding fell the next day. Killing several workers. The chatter continued.
I heard a dog howling when the scaffolding fell. This place is cursed. The devil made the scaffolding fall and kill my husband, and we still haven't been paid. I'm not gonna work like this.
With a near revolt on their hands, the foreman went to see King Philip.
Your Majesty, have you heard the rumors about the dog?
Not just the rumors. I can hear the damn creature yowling all night long.
The workers are afraid. They think the dog guards the gates of hell, and they still haven't been paid. We're missing men, and the work is behind schedule. If we don't give them their money, we'll have no workers left.
A dog? Guarding the gate to hell? King Philip had sealed the place off. This would never do, he responded.
I will do no such thing. Kill that dog, and put its head on a pike for all to see.
The foreman gathered a group of men at night, and they set out to hunt the dog. When they found the beast, 2 times the size of a wolf, it was almost too easy to ram a spear through its heart. Celebrating the hunt, they raised its head on a pike. It seemed too easy, because it was. They didn't know you can't kill something that's already dead. And then, the howling began in earnest. Now, every night, instead of one dog, it seemed like dozens, a pack, several packs. A few workers were brave enough to look at the site at night.
The dog was off the pike. I saw hundreds of black bodies in the shadows.
But in the morning, the dog's head was back on the pike, as if it had never left. Fear gripped the workers. This was not natural.
The devil is in this place. I'm leaving.
And from one day to the next, the worker town a half-hour down the path with its tree branch huts covered in skins was deserted. Not a man left in sight. Once again, the foreman went to the king. He hadn't slept the entire night, the dog's howling living inside his ears, inside his brain. He wanted to go down to the gate to kill the animal himself, but he had sealed it off. As far as the king knew, there was no other way down. He greeted the foreman with a snarl.
Didn't I tell you to kill that dog?
The foreman was shaking.
That dog is the work of the devil. There are no workers left. You have to pay the men.
Although King Philip resisted at first, eventually, he could no longer stand the howling. He gave in and scraped together to send them their coins. Nuno and Arminio and all their friends had a feast that night.
We did it.
We got paid.
Real bread, chickpea stew with turnip, and an actual ham bone inside. The only ones who didn't eat were a man with a beard holding a saw and a beautiful woman with glinting black eyes. Dead people can't eat. After the feast, Nuno and Arminio walked them back to the star-shaped entrance. As they opened the stone, Cerberus appeared from the dark forest, wagging his tail. Nuno pet him on the head.
Good boy.
And then turned to the dead man and woman and said,
Thank you for helping me with your pain.
They sealed the stone behind them. Within 21 years, construction on the monastery and the palace was complete. And after the night of the feast, no workers ever heard the black dog ever howl again. King Philip did, though. The day he died, he was so weak that they had to carry him in a chair to the monastery of Escorial. He insisted on perishing in what had become known as the eighth wonder of the world. As he drew his last breath, he heard the howling vibrations of the stone from beneath his chambers, far, far beneath them. He never did discover the secret, ancient, star-shaped entrance. Cerberus and his dead master and mistress were waiting, patiently, beneath the foundation of the massive monastery, waiting to unseal hell in the power of their pain when the time was right. That time would come many, many years later. San Lorenzo de El Escorial, December 2025. Under the rubble, Miguel is crying like a little baby.
It hurts!
All the rafters and beams and thatch from the left side of the roof fell right on top of him. He's babbling.
It was Joseph and Mary! They did this to me!
The crowd looks at the still life mannequins next to the manger, positioned to the right, under the part still standing. Joseph doesn't have a beard anymore, and Mary's eyes are running black paint down her cheeks.
Poor kid. He must be in shock.
Our little switcheroo worked beautifully. I'm sure my two friends are already back in the tunnel, lying next to the stone slab, their faces pursed up like dried fruit. A woman in the crowd speaks to Miguel.
Oh, honey, it wasn't the mannequins. It was that crazy dog that attacked you.
And I'm sure that Cerberus is back on the stone slab, guarding the gate to hell. Just waiting for the next time I need them. The next time I need them to stop my pain and anger with more pain. I crouch down and whisper in Miguel's ear.
Merry Christmas, Miguel.
Cerberus had swiped off the hair from the right side of his head when he shoved him, leaving exposed raw skin. The remaining hair on his crown is spiked and matted with blood. Before standing, I add,
Pelos locos.
this is why I don't cry anymore. Hola, Samuel here. The El Escorial Monastery was built between 1563 and 1584, in just 21 years. In my opinion, it is one of the most stunning original Renaissance period buildings in all of Europe. It has velvet royal quarters, war rooms with painted portraits. There's a huge library with centuries-old books in multiple languages, and it looks like it's straight out of Harry Potter. The monarch's tombs are next to a place that's actually called the Rotting Room, and yes, there are rotting bodies inside, and you could spend days there and still not see it all. I guess 21 years is a short or a long period of time, depending on how you look at it. The legend of the black dog guarding the gate to hell is one of the most well-known in this town. There are multiple different versions of it, but they all agree that it had something to do with underpaying and overtaxing workers in the local population. Besides the fact that the monastery itself was expensive, with thousands of workers and skilled craftsmen, King Phillip II also inherited a deeply indebted crown from Charles V. Any money coming in from overseas territories was quickly spent on wars and defense and paying off loans, so he raised taxes like crazy. Obviously, this didn't make the people very happy. So, in a way, the black dog was defending them. It's funny, there are still two towns today. Up above, San Lorenzo, where the monastery is located and where the nobles and the rich went to play. And down below, El Escorial, which used to be the workers' village. For all intents and purposes, they're the same town because it really is only a half-hour walk through a park between the two. But they have separate city halls and government, with a more conservative government up above, and the Socialist Workers' Party consistently winning elections down below. 500 years later, and some things haven't changed. Stick a pin in both Philip II and El Escorial. There are more stories to be told about him and the location, and we'll be getting to those in later episodes. I don't know where the star-shaped entrance is, but I'm dropping a link in the show notes to the location of the monastery. So if you find it, let me know. I wouldn't mind seeing an actual gate to hell. I'm also linking to the site's official webpage, so you can take a look around. Remember to check out our website, SpanishSundown.com, and our social media accounts to see original footage of the town, the monastery, and the life-size Nativity Scene. These accounts are also a good place to hang out and ask questions about Spain and the episodes. Just look for @SpanishSundown on Facebook and Instagram. I'm Samuel Mattern, and I created and produced this podcast. Special thanks to Simon Jones for the original theme music. I'd also like to thank the group of over 50 volunteers, the one who make the monumental Nativity Scene in San Lorenzo de el Escorial possible. If you're in Spain, it will be available for viewing until January 7th, 2026. Happy holidays, everyone. Until night falls and the voices speak again, thank you for listening to Spanish Sunday.